Got a weird one for you today. We're making Fiesta lime chicken jambalaya. Why did I mix these two? I don't know, but here how it went. Pound of chicken thighs, boneless, skinless, already cleaned them, trimmed them up. That's what we got here. Seasoned them up. Let's look at the usual suspects. Garlic powder, onion powder, Tony Chachere's, which I mispronounce every time. And of course, some of that slap your mama. All right, we got our oil, that is hot. We got our chicken, that is not. So hit it with this, a little bit of chili lime seasoning. We gotta get this browned up just a little bit before I start adding to it. Chicken's starting to cook off. Second ingredient, you got some chicken andouille sausage. That's gonna go down. Yes, that is chicken sausage. Actually, I'll show you a wrapper real quick. All right, so this is andouille chicken sausage, not just the ugly normal version. But look at the calories on these. 80 calories of sausage. That's why I use these. You see that fat content starting to cook out? That's what we're looking for, because I like to use the fat. Then I'm gonna drop my vegetables in here after I take these out. So these don't need to be cooked all the way through, because obviously it's gonna go back in the chicken. We're just looking to render the fat out and get a little bit of like a browning on them. So they'll stay on a little bit longer, and then I'll take these off and you'll see what I do next. All right, that is what we should be left with. Now on my left, move y'all over here real quick. We've got diced onion, some peppers fell in there. We got green bell peppers, we got roast, and we got red peppers. I'm not using celery because I actually don't like celery. So if I don't have to use it in the Trinity, I ain't using it. So of course, because I'm a one-man band, let me get these in here real quick and I'll be right back. Onions are in. We're gonna get this going. Gotta season this bad boy up real quick. Same type of seasonings. More Tony's. That's Tony Chachere's, what I said in the beginning. This is salt-free, so you can use as much as you want to. If you don't get the salt-free, then don't do that, but I use no salt. Plenty of chopped garlic. A little bit more onion powder. Again, I cook without adding salt. Some of this stuff does have salt in it. This has salt in it, and a couple of other things. So that's really where my salt content comes from, as well as from the sausage, which has plenty. And of course, that slap your mama with my dented can. Patented. All right, after about a minute or two, those are starting to cook down where I want them. Put the meat back in. God, it smells good. Let's stir this bad boy up. I'm gonna let that cook for another minute or two. Right, after another minute, I have got a can of Rotel with the lime juice and cilantro. I'm gonna add that to the party. As well as a can of fire roasted tomatoes. I like them fire roasted. Fits with the theme. All right, let's stir this bad boy up real quick. Last but not least, we got our rice, already washed and rinsed. This is just regular long grain. I could use basmati too, but I want to get rid of this damn rice. And we're gonna give that a quick stir. All right, lastly, we're gonna add our chicken stock to the party. Once that is all, then we're gonna bring this up to a boil. I have lime, which I'm gonna squeeze into here too. It's a whole lime, so we're squeezing all the juice from all the lime in there. Your favorite hot sauce as much as you want. I like mine a little bit spicier, so you can see how I kind of went ham. You don't have to add it if you don't want it spicy though. After that, give it one more quick stir. We'll add our lid. Shit fogged up real quick. I'm just gonna cover this bad boy, turn this down to a simmer. There's my simmer. I'm gonna leave this on for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending. All right, see what we're working with. Ooh, that's steamy. Hold up. That's better. All right, we got this sit for a little bit because I'm gonna burn myself if I don't. Okay, now that that's on, we added a little bit of chopped onion, cilantro, and tomatoes, like a little fresh pico. I don't have any other stuff to add to it. A little bit of lime on there as well. You can see that on the top. And the last thing I'm gonna add to top this bad boy off, a little bit of cheddar cheese right on top. And a little bit of pepper on top. This is hot as hell. Now I'm gonna throw this in the broiler. One more thing, I promise. A little bit of sour cream, top that all off. It looked good, smelled good. Now we gotta see if it tastes good. What's going on, guys? King Tragic back into the video on the channel, and today, just said that, it's Fiesta lime chicken, jambalaya. It's like I combined the two. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make Fiesta lime chicken. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make jambalaya. So I made both. I hope it turns out good. That's about all I got for you. But let's do it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. You know how I go. Right into it. Let's get a little bit of the scream, sour cream. A little bit of the hangy. That's how big this shit is steaming. I'm about to burn the hell out of my mouth. Listen. Just listen. I know I stand my own food. Which I actually just I'm not even sure what the hell it like to call it at this point, because it really is both. I'm getting the Cajun, the taste like I get when I make jambalaya or jambalaya. I know people like to, I know, but I'm also getting that cilantro, that lime. You know, it's got both. You know what would have set this off? I didn't have any because this is a freestyle as usual. You know the tortilla chips they serve with the Fiesta lime chicken, or even like some nacho chips with this? Bruh. Then I get the andouille. Yo, somebody make this. Like somebody make this. That's wild. Nice bit of spice to it. I did put a lot of hot sauce in there. Probably like a tablespoon, because I don't be caring. It's so hot. I don't care. I know I say this all the time. My eyes are kind of steaming because it's temperature-wise. Y'all can't see. Can y'all see this? Can y'all see that steam or no? There's mad steam on here. I don't care. I have burned my own mouth in the past, especially growing up, because I used to try to sneak food when my mom wasn't looking when she cooked. Let me get sour cream here. And you don't even be caring. You just slurp your way through it. I don't care. See? I don't care, bro. We gotta do what we gotta do. Cool it down with sour cream, guy. Tough. Damn, that's good, bro. See, I prefer the one pot dishes like this over cooking the right, or the protein, the meat on the side. I don't care. That's a hot one. Okay, we finna eat. I don't care. It is what it is. I gather myself. Mom just be mad as hell at me. You hear me in the other room. Put that damn food down. It is what it is. Sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit, you know? I think the stupidest thing I ever did, though, one time my mom fried chicken, right? And you know you gotta let that shit cool because this is hot and it got the grease. Nope, I ain't care. This was like back when I was super young, probably about maybe 5 or 6 years old. So because we look back then, like we lived in a very, very small apartment in the projects, whatever. She fried chicken. You know, you put it on the paper towel or whatever, let it, you know, soak up the grease, and you gotta. The apartment was so small that the bathroom was pretty much in the damn kitchen. Like, it was in the kitchen. You had to walk into the kitchen and go to the bathroom. And the kitchen wasn't big to begin with, so fully grown me could probably wash my hands and eat some chicken at the same time. Me back then, not so much. But she didn't catch me because she had finished frying the food, so I snuck in the bathroom. I had this all planned out. This was like some Mission Impossible, you know, spy versus spy and care. I was doing what I had to do because I had to get this chicken. It smelled good. You know, you could smell all the little seasonings, and I could smell, you hear the shh, you know, the fry noise. Excuse me, I'm fat, bro. Like, I had to get it. I wish I was kidding too. So me, I was playing Super Nintendo, and I was like, I'm finna get this chicken. So I snuck in the bathroom and hid my head. And my mom, she, you know, put all the chicken on a little thing so it could get whatever, drain the grease off. And she walked out the kitchen. So I pulled a little, you know, right? Got all the way. Damn, this is so good though. So good. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. So when she dipped, I ran over there into the kitchen, grabbed me a drumstick. Shit was hot as hell. I already knew that I had this plan. So I had the doo-doo paper, toilet paper. I had wrapped it around my hand real quick just so I know I could get a quick bite. I wasn't thinking this through. So I grabbed a drumstick, like this here. Had a drumstick, took me a fat bite. When I tell you, I burnt a whole part off some hot ass grease. I am not exaggerating. I couldn't taste anything. I still ate the damn chicken. I ain't even scream. Everybody else is sitting there eating dinner. I had to give you that quick bite. It was a dumb mistake though, because I couldn't taste anything. But I'm just telling you what I used to do. I used to sneak for food whenever I could, if there was anything in there to take. My thing I stole the most was cheese though. It ain't matter what kind of cheese. Back when we had no money, it was government cheese. Or like the little, it wasn't Kraft, but it was like, you know, the ones that resembled Kraft. The American, well, they didn't have American Choice back then. Walmart wasn't up here yet. Walmart didn't get up here till like the mid 2000s on everything. Like, I think they built that Walmart maybe like 2010, right? Something like that. So, the Walmart by me, I'm saying. So, there was no like America's Choice or brand. I think it was called like No Frills, bro. Or like, what the hell? There was a store that used to be here. It's gone now. It was called A&P and Pathmark. They don't exist anymore. They closed down like maybe like 5 years ago. Now they're all Acme's, but well, don't get me started because I'll be mad at that. But anyway, they used to have like, you know, off brands. We was definitely the off brand, you know. Look, hey. If you too bougie for like the poverty brands, the off brands, y'all sleep. You know what's funny? Some of the off brands that had a little glow up, or other people bought them. I'm gonna give you the biggest one. Are y'all familiar with Malto Meal? You know the cereal in the bag. It'd be big as hell. Like, get you a 5-pound bag for like $6. Yeah, them. If you ain't never had them, I'm gonna tell you right now. What the hell was they called? The toast cinnamon, the toasties, cinnamon toasties, I think it was called. Them things hit. And they reboxed the shit because Post bought Malto Meal. So Post owns Malto Meal, and they got wind of it. So now they sell the s'more cereal in the box, but it used to come in the bag. And you could get the bag a long time ago. Big old bag of s'more cereal. And it got, if you never had them, little like golden grams, like little marshmallow pieces, little chocolate pieces, like little like the balls, like almost like Cocoa Puffs kind of. Y'all sweet. Don't sit here and act like America's Choice don't taste the damn same. Half the time it is the same. It'd be the same stuff. Y'all just buying the package. Not me. You better give me that. What was the other one too? Sam's Choice. Struggle brands. Right, y'all was eating, you know, Lay's chips as a kid. I was eating Wise. I don't know if Wise is nationwide, but every bodega in the tri-state area where I grew up, you know, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, I'm sorry, let me dish you. You better believe you get you a bag of Wise. The onion and garlic chips, fire. Bag of Dipsy Doodles, fire. Or a honey bun. Preferably all three. And a quarter water. Until you was able to go to the quarter store, the bodega as some people call it, with like $1.50 and eat like a king. Get you a bag of Dipsy Doodles, a honey bun, preferably 1 or 2 quarter drinks, or a 25-cent soda. And you still got like 32 cents left to spare to get you the Lucy candies. Now, if you're unfamiliar with a Lucy candy, most bodegas sell the candy like you see, like the Sour Punch straws and all those Sour Patch Kids and all that. They sell it in a box, and they're like a penny a piece. You can just grab you a bunch of them with them 32 cents. It was a whole vibe. I miss them days, man. Be eating good. Sometimes you go in there and you just make shit up. I've seen people go in the corner store and haggle. Listen, I got $3. Let me see, can I get all this? Nah, you gotta put something back. What if I add this and take this out? Y'all think this is a game. Because most of them stores, the shit in there ain't legal anyway. Listen, I'm not saying it's not legal. But go to any, excuse me, that's because the cheese is legit. Go to any like Costco, what's the other ones? Like Sam's Club, right? Is the better one? Right? Sam's Club? Yeah, Sam's Club. Because I'm thinking of Sam's Choice. Go to any of them. And I guarantee you're going to see a bodega in there buying stuff you're not supposed to resell, because like you're not supposed to do that. I don't own a store, but they finna do it. Sometimes you grab shit out the bodega, right? And right in the package it'll say like not for individual resale. Like, bitch, I just bought this. Hey, gotta get how you live, man. You're supposed to go like Restaurant Depot and some. I'm not going to Restaurant Depot. I'm trying to make that money. So, those are my favorite trips to the corner store. Or sometimes you get lucky because they be cooking too. You know, I was like the chopped cheese, all that. I think it's funny because stuff like the chopped cheese or like you know, like some of the stuff that we ate like growing up because we didn't have no money. Now it's like gentrified. Now you see people on TikTok like, I just found this new spot for an excellent sandwich called the chopped cheese. And I'm like, where the fuck have y'all been, bro? But, you know, that's how it always goes. I've been seeing some funny stuff on there, man. You know? People figured out how to make the bricks that they make when you locked up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like in a chip bag. I don't know if you know how to do that. You use like a ramen and then you use like chips. And you can like combine ingredients and add hot water to them. You add different stuff to them. I don't know, my uncle told me how to make them when I was a kid, but I've seen just somebody living like the Upper East Side. It's bougie. You live in the suburbs, you know, and they're like, I made grilled cheese today using an iron. And I'm like, y'all hear these crickets? That's the truth. You know? Yes, you can make a grilled cheese sandwich on an iron. 100%. Get you a paper bag, some cooking spray, and some grilled cheese ingredients. Might be able to get some butter if you, but we ain't got no damn butter, so those usually big ingredients. But most of us that grew up in areas like that got a friend, uncle, you know, dad, friend, whatever. They knew how to make all that. You know. It's crazy. But I see it all over TikTok now. I do think it's dope though that some of the people that do it are like ex-cons and stuff. You know, they use some of the stuff that they learned while they were in there and they made content with it. Like, that's dope. Because, you know, it's not easy to find a job when you get out. So them being able to do that is a way to provide income. You know what I mean? Or even if it's a side hustle or whatever it is, like, that's turning a negative into a positive. And from what I've seen, because I've seen some of those accounts like that, you know, most of them will tell you, like, listen, that's not a place you want to be. You know what I mean? Like, they're not saying it like, oh, yeah, it was so cool in here. I've never seen anybody be like, oh, yeah, that was cool as hell to be up in here. Like, nah. Shit, I mean, honestly, I've seen some videos where the dudes actually still are in, prison, which is, hey. But I do like that. Also, some of you guys found me on TikTok, which is funny. I noticed some people are saying like comments that on Instagram or are saying it on TikTok now. It's the easiest way to get me to see stuff because that's where I have like the smallest audience. Is TikTok. I see every comment on TikTok because I don't get that many. You know. So keep that in mind. If you really do have something like you really want me to see it, put it on TikTok if you have it. The funniest thing I saw on there though, I think it was the video, because I make little, like, people who don't, like, have all my other social medias. On Instagram and on TikTok, I'll post, like, like the shortened versions of it, where you don't get like everything, but you get just enough to see what the hell I made, or sometimes like if it's a review, a little bit of that. So, on the Little Caesars video I did, someone said, because I guess it was because of the way I speak, they said, he's definitely not from the hood. Now, I don't really get triggered by that kind of stuff because I don't think it's a flex to say you're from where you're from. Like, that's not a flex. Like, where you're from is where you're from. But in my head, I'm like, you really don't know. Oh, man. But it cracked me up. I didn't even answer. Other people started answering back, like, you know, saying stuff like, why does that matter? I agree with that. I don't need to prove that I'm from the hood or not from the hood because that's nothing to argue about. But if you're on here, you know the stories that I've told you and a lot of stuff that you don't know because I don't want to talk about that stuff on social media. Maybe someday, but I think it's funny that people think just because of the way somebody speaks. I know people who try to act hood that ain't from the hood. And I know people who are from the hood that don't act like that. Because even when I lived in the hood, I talked, obviously my voice wasn't deep, but I talk the way I talk now. And to be honest, I got in a lot of fights as a young kid. I'm talking like first grade, kindergarten fights type of shit. One, because I'm biracial, and it wasn't as common as it is now in the hood. There wasn't a lot of that, you know? At least where I grew up, I was one of the only biracial, other than my damn sister, where I lived. In the whole block, the whole building, in the school, the elementary school I went to, everything. So, I was a little angry ass kid. Kids had something to say, like we fighting. So I used to get in a lot of fights. And the two biggest things that people would start stuff for me for was because I was mixed, one. And two, because they said that I talk too proper. Which is a fact. The funny part is both of my parents grew up in the same town that I grew up in as a little kid. And my mother, who's basically 100% black, was the one with the parents who spoke properly. And my father, who isn't, was the one with the parents who didn't speak like that. And my father didn't speak like that. My mother did, who's 100% black, but my father didn't. So it just goes to show you in my head that like that whole like talking a certain way, being not even, and I'm not talking about, because I'm not even saying the whole acting white thing. I didn't say that once. It has nothing to do with where you're from. Truthfully. Because the biggest reason that I figured that out, because like it was different when I was a little kid and I lived in the hood. People used to give me crap like that and be like, oh, like you don't, you know, you're bougie, you're stuck up, you know, you act like you're blah, blah, blah. You think because the way I talk like this. You know, I was a nerd as a kid, so I read a lot. You know, I skipped a grade, so I would get a lot of stuff for it. My answer to that back then was fight me then. So we did. Got a lot of fights. And then when I moved to the suburbs, talking and being the same way in the beginning was weird because I was too black. I didn't change at all, but I was too black when I moved to the suburbs at first. Too hood, too ghetto, the way I dress, because I still always, you know, even now, the way I talk is one thing, but I still have hood tendencies, but I don't act like I'm from the hood because I don't know what the hell that means. You get what I'm saying? But I still do certain things, like I will still live a certain way, and I don't forget where I'm from. I just don't go back no more because ain't nothing left there for me. I did go back up until high school, about the 10th grade, and I realized I couldn't keep doing that stuff. And I'm lucky that I did, because some people I know that ended up in bad situations without me going into that. But the thing that really made me realize that stuff was when I got to college. There was people, black people, from some of the most, you know, dangerous place, Chicago, you know, Gary, Indiana, which I think I said that in one of my videos, which is a lot worse than people think. Were just like me. Now, when you piss them off or you get to a certain point like me, you kind of revert back to certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the angry part, but the way you talk. It's almost like one of my closest friends growing up was West Indian. Now, I'm part West Indian, but he was 100%. He was straight Jamaican, like 100%. And he didn't have an accent unless he got pissed off. When he got pissed off, I didn't even know what the hell he was saying. He started with the fire fidat, and I'm, whoa. Who is you talking to? Because I don't speak what you're speaking, bro. That's how it go. A lot of times, when you piss people off of certain backgrounds, they go back to that background when they get mad. Because it's the most common way that they speak. Or it's, for whatever reason, you know. A lot of Hispanic people do that. Like, you know, they speak English, perfect English, and they get pissed off and they start cursing you out in Spanish. I've witnessed it. You know, it's like you're more comfortable to whoop somebody ass when you're in your zone. But I noticed that a lot of them was the same way as me. The thing about me that people don't really realize, I don't talk like that on here, is I've got into this before, but my code switching game is top notch. You know? And most people of color are very good at code switching as you get older. When I was in high school, I only knew how to talk one way. And while I didn't give a shit, and I still don't now, when you're trying to do things like interviews, talking to the media, stuff like that, I took a lot of public speaking courses in college, and I learned how to talk differently. I can even lose my New Jersey accent if I have to. I've done it. When I'm talking like this, you can hear me say talk, but when I can actually speak and talk differently, it doesn't bother me to do like, to switch it on and off. I did it in college because I was in the Midwest. But you learn. And most people I know in my own family, and other people's families, like, you have different ways that you talk. When you talk amongst certain people, you speak one way. Then you have your work voice. Then you have your home voice. Then you might talk to your kids or your dog differently. You know? And there was a poll that I saw, which polls can only be misleading, and I'll be the first to admit that. But from my own perspective, they said that a lot of black people that work corporate jobs or something like that are very, very good at code switching. And it is true. Take LeBron James, for example. LeBron James speaks differently. If you watch his show has on HBO, it's called The Shop. A lot of people were surprised to hear him cursing, like saying the N-word, stuff like that, because that's how he talks. You would never think, because I've never said, actually, y'all caught me one time. Because I remember somebody pointed it out. It was in one of the unfiltered videos, and I was like drinking, and I wasn't with Sam, because I would never say it around Sam, but I was by myself, and I said it. I think I actually might have said it once around him too, because I don't really do that. But have I ever said that word? If y'all would have met me 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, y'all wouldn't even know. I definitely was a lot different. But for the most part, I don't go to those places anymore. You know, and while I was an athlete in college back then, amongst my teammates, my black teammates, I spoke a certain way. So that way was much more free to me. And I only had to code switch to go the other way when I was doing interviews or when I was doing speeches in class or stuff like that. But I don't really have a time that I use it anymore. So I don't really. It's still there. If you bring me to certain environments, I will talk differently. But I'm careful with that kind of stuff because I'm not trying to convey the wrong thing. But I found it funny that he was like, he must not be from the hood. First of all, not every black person's from the hood. That's for damn sure. Second of all, it doesn't really matter where you're from. And third of all, yes, the fuck I am. I just don't act like that anymore because I have nothing to prove to anybody. I'm not a rapper and I'm not trying to act a certain way that I'm not. I lived there when I was younger. I tried to still go there until I got to a certain age. And I was there all the time. And then as I got to like 10th grade, I was like, you know, not for me. Stay out of trouble, you know. And truthfully, I'm glad I did. Being an athlete, I had to make a choice. Do I want to play ball or do I want to try to be tough? So I chose to play ball. Got me a scholarship and got up out of there. You know? And I think when you get older, you start to realize that kind of stuff. You don't really have anything to prove no more. And you realize that you don't have to speak a certain way. And a lot of people, because the only people of color that they interact with are like athletes, rappers. They never had a reason to code switch. People that work 9 to 5s, they code switch. People that work like I do, where I'm dealing with clients, they code switch. Imagine me talking the way I used to talk, and a 52-year-old white woman walks in, and I start talking, hey, you can't, because she's not going to take you seriously, and I need the money. But that's just the truth. So, not every person has to do it, and people you see on TV, you know, they never had to. They never had to assimilate. So, I look at this point, like a job. Which is why I don't curse as much as I used to, and why I don't say that kind of stuff. But if you saw me with my other friend, we spoke differently. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how that got to me, but that food was good. Like, super good. I don't know, that's it. Man, I finished it all too, in fact. Delicious. Anyway, it's gonna be the end of the video. I'll be back tomorrow. More content. I love y'all, the hand signs. They made it to YouTube.